Alright guys, let's talk about Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, or the former Fetch.ai, or we'll just call it FET. Excuse me if I call it by Fetch AI though. It's just a lot simpler than saying Artificial Superintelligence Alliance, guys. So let's jump into the TA here. Now you can see basically you do have the lowest of lows here on this drop down, and it actually managed to hold on to this Fibonacci level, guys. A little bit surprising that it held, but it did. Now, we do have a couple of flags here, basically, that you can see. And from this flag, we actually didn't reach the target yet. We did fall a little bit short. We kind of got stopped here at this Fibonacci, if you see. Almost perfectly, guys. There was a small, you can see a little wick above it there on the 12th of May. But yeah, we didn't manage to close above it. Now, this flag, we have the same target, so that's actually pretty funny, guys. So 98.5 cents is probably in the cards, but will it stop there? Who knows? I mean, it could continue to this resistance up here at 110. Now, keep in mind, I haven't marked off any daily resistances on this chart. It's just really hard to mark off daily resistances when you have a long history. So sometimes I just tend to put weekly resistances and supports, and yeah, that's the next resistance. If we get up there, then we have $1.25, and then about $1.40, and then you have to get out of this Fibonacci here. So don't want to get too far ahead when we talk about these things. Now let's take a look at the RSI and the stochastic. So, daily time frame actually oversold here, so that's pretty good, and it is coming up here on the RSI, so that looks fine. Weekly, a little bit overbought, so not good on the Stoke, but the RSI is going kind of sideways, slightly up, but just in the middle here in neutral territory, so we have kind of a mixed signal there. Now the monthly, yeah, really oversold here, as you see on the Stoke, and it is starting to come back up. Now, keep in mind, this is a very slow indicator. But yeah, this RSI here is actually in the middle, slightly pointed up as well. So the monthly actually looks pretty good. The weekly, kind of a mixed signal, but the daily, pretty good too. So longer term time frames, more better, I would say, than bad. So let's look at the 4-hour time frame. A little bit overbought here on the Stoke RSI. Now it is going up pretty heavily here on the RSI, but yeah, it's still not in the overbought territory. So kind of a mixed signal again. 1-hour time frame coming down pretty heavily, but it is getting into this oversold territory. So you probably will see shortly another turn to the upside, something like this, something like this. So yeah. And we are still pointed to the upside here on the RSI, and yeah, it still can run a ways here. It looks like it has kind of avoided getting overbought here several times along the way too. It's kind of strange. It hasn't really reached that territory. It did slightly reach it here today in the morning, but yeah, it came down immediately. Now 15-minute time frame, just for fun. Yeah, it's just coming out of the oversold territory. And it's pointed pretty heavily to the upside, just like the RSI. It's pointed pretty heavily to the upside. And yeah, you can see here it kind of avoids that overbought region, just barely dips into it. So not looking too bad, I would say, on most time frames for FET. If I had to guess, though, I would say it's probably headed up, guys. Even though we do have a couple of time frames that are a little bit mixed here, it is trying to break, as you see here, the top of this little channel. So let's see if it can hang on. Now, there's 9 minutes still left on this candle. I'm not going to say that this is a perfect channel by any means, but if it can get over this resistance here at about 80.8 cents, I think that would signal, probably a breakout here. Now, let's also take a quick look here at the volume profile, guys. Now, the chart before this time, there is still some, months before, but it doesn't really matter because we're up here. So we need to take a look only really at the area that we are trading in at the moment and higher. Now, you can see that we are right here. I know that's really hard to see, guys, but where my little mouse is where we're at. So once we get above about 90, let's say 92 cents, guys, you can see this is a very, very small candlestick. Now, the candlesticks get a little bit larger from $1.20 up to about, let's just say $1.50, guys. But, you know, compared to this down here, guys, this is nothing. This is really nothing. So I do think once we get above about 92 cents, there's not much volume that's holding us back. And, you know, once we get above about $1.77, 78, there's really almost nothing for sure. You can see this is just very, very, very small volume up here. Now, looking at the MACD also, guys, I want to show you that this is still quite low. It's minus 0.14 and minus 0.18. Now, the local high up here was about 0.62, let's say. If this is the weekly time frame as well, guys. And that was probably, yeah, that was the biggest peak that we saw. So, you know, if we run all the way up there, guys, that still has a ways to go. Now, we are starting to print some green candles here on the weekly time frame. If we take a quick look at the daily time frame, yeah, you can see, actually, let me look at this first. We're getting a lighter red candlestick and it's starting to go down. So that's a good sign, guys. And let's see, the biggest peak that we ever had here, if I go back in history, wow, that was up here at 0.51. And is that the biggest? That might be the biggest peak that we've ever had. So, you know, imagine that we run up that high. Now we are curving up now, so that's good. We were coming down, but starting to curve back up. So I do believe the daily is going to start seeing green soon. Now, to look at the MACD on lower time frames doesn't really make too much sense, so I like to only look at basically the weekly and the daily, but it's starting to look really good on the MACD. Now, taking a look at the tokenomics, guys, basically you can see here that there's 2.714 billion max supply. All of this has been created, and circulating is most of this as well, guys. So pretty much you can't really dilute this too much. And yeah, all-time high was about $3.45, so you're still getting about a 77% discount at the moment. And yeah, I just think this is going to be one of the leaders of AI coins. I still think the AI sector will be very hot. You know, this is the number 63 coin too as well, guys. Keep that in mind. This isn't really, you know, number 100,000 on the list. It's not even 1,000. We're talking about number 63 on the list. You know, they merged with Ocean Protocol. They merged with SingularityNet. You know, what's to say that they're not going to merge with someone, you know, for example, like Render, which is also in the AI space, or another, you know, crypto, which I can't think of off the top of my head. But yeah, I just think this is, you know, their Superintelligence Alliance. Yeah, super is actually pretty correct here. I think they're going to be a leader, guys. Now, taking a quick look at Bitcoin, guys, you can see that we did hit about 110,000 today. We made a new all-time high. And yeah, I just want to point out really quickly, though, since we're on the weekly time frame, you know, from this cup and handle, guys, that target is up here at about $115,000. So keep in mind, you know, my target was always between 80 to 120. I've always said this. You can go back in the history and look, and I always said if we get a super cycle, 150 is possibly in the cards. Now, let's see if I'm right. Maybe we kind of, you know, stop at 115, 120, and start to go down, and alts start to pump. Who knows? Now, looking at this on a daily time frame real quick too, I just want to point out that on the 18th, we did seal a candle above this line at 106.241. But on the retest, we fell back, guys. So yesterday we broke out, and today we are retesting this line. So there's really nothing stopping us right now, guys. Let's see where this candle is sealed later tonight. But yeah, I mean, we still have a little bit more time, but I do have faith that this is going to be, you know, the start of something bigger. Now today, the U.S. 20-year bonds auction saw less demand than expected, so that's why you saw BTC drop about 2.4%. If we go back and we look at this, this was this candle, guys, and dropped from about 109 all the way back to 106, let's just say 200, guys. And since then, we've gotten quite a bounce, and yeah, I mean, it's still still looking good, guys. I mean, the trend is up. And yeah, take a look at Ethereum here, guys. Ethereum is just kind of, struggling right now. But, after, this pump here from 1800 all the way up to 2700, let's just say, it's naturally probably going to cool off. Now, we are kind of making somewhat of a flag. And let's just make a little flagpole here. Let's just say the flagpole starts here and stops here. So let's be a little conservative. Now I want to put it right there. Now the target of this is up here at about 3,200, guys. And yeah, we have to break out though. We're getting rejected. We got rejected today. You can see we tried to break out. It got up to about 2,600. So far it's pulled back. And, keep in mind we still have several hours. It could still, move up and get a breakout. But that would mean tomorrow we need to retest and then bounce. So let's see what happens. But right now, Ethereum is a little bit struggling, but I would just say it's probably more like it's consolidating. It needs to hold 2506 like you see here. This is a weekly support. Now keep in mind this is daily time frame. So a little bit of the wrong time frame, to look at this, but the longer the candle over this, the better. Now, total market cap excluding Bitcoin is at 1.2 trillion, so that's good, guys. It looks like we probably sealed that candle yesterday over this line, so that's perfect. Now, taking a look at the dominance, it's still going up, guys. I just don't know when this is going to stop. But so far, it's not above this point here. Maybe it gets a rejection off this February 3rd high. And let's see. Now it got a very large bounce off this trend line here, which is like a 2.5-year trend line. But we need to break that, and then we need to break 60.46, and then I think we've won. Now, the altcoin season index, let me see. I haven't refreshed this. No, okay, it's still 16. Still pretty low, guys. So as long as the Bitcoin dominance goes up, this goes down. Now, the futures is at 108,780. The dollar index is actually dropping, which is better for Bitcoin. So you can see it broke this trend. Let's take a look at the liquidation heat map, guys. So basically 415 million have been wrecked. And, when you see a drop like you saw a few hours ago, that wrecks a lot of people. When it just drops so quickly, $2,000-$3,000 in a matter of minutes. So be careful. I would say, don't use leverage. Just buy the coin, hold it, and wait. That's my advice. You don't have to do it if you don't want. It's not financial advice, but let's see here. Now, yesterday we had a 71. Today we got a 70. Guys, we've been between 70 and 74 for like maybe more than 10 days. I don't know if there's some chart anywhere. Maybe there is down here. Yeah, actually it's right here. And so, yeah, you can see we've been here since, wow, what is this? The 9th of May. So, yeah, like I said, we've just been sideways with the fear and greed. So, taking a look at the bull market peak indicators, 0 from 30 is still hit, guys. Still 100% hold. So, nothing to panic about. Now, the Pi cycle top indicator, a very slow indicator, guys. It looks like it's starting to curve back up. So, let's see what happens. Now, if we take a quick look at the FedWatch tools, guys, I need to refresh it. But we still have 27 days, and basically it's almost 95% believe that we're not getting a cut still. Only 5% believe we're going to get a cut. Now, crypto bubbles actually looks pretty good today. There's a few reds here and there, but for the most part, it's green. I'm not sure why the week is, red, but okay. For the most part, today is looking nice. Now, if you want to stake your coins, guys, go to Coinondo. I just did a BitTensor video last night. So yeah, if you want, you can look at that. But yeah, if you want to search for any other coins, guys, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, just go here, and yeah, it'll show you all the deals. Do your homework. Just don't lock it up for too long. That's my advice, guys. You don't want to get stuck in a position that you can't get out of when you're ready to sell. But anyways, guys, if you like this video, like, subscribe, activate the bell. Share this video with your friends. Check out some of the deals that I have below, guys, with the exchanges. If you sign up through me, it really helps me out a lot. And if you want to become a member of the channel for only $2, let me know. And yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.